Hello everyone! Today I'll be sharing the polishes I picked up from ILNP this past Black Friday. They have a huge catalog, so it was hard to narrow it down. I really love ILNP as a brand. I love the way they run their business, and I love a lot of their polishes and collections. But this was my first time making a purchase because I always told myself I'm not gonna buy from ILNP until they start offering paddle brushes, as replacements at least. It would be nice if they switched, but I have a feeling they won't because a majority of brands default to wide paddle brushes because most people prefer that, so I think they want to stick it out for the part of their fan base that likes the skinnier brush. But we finally have replacement brushes. Here's a closer look at them. They come in a 10-pack and are already assembled with the caps. For these swatches, I left the original brush just as demonstration, but I don't know if I want to switch them out anymore, which is crazy because I was being petty and waited so long to buy from ILNP until they offered these, even though there have been so many collections and polishes I loved. And it's not because I ended up liking the skinny brush after trying it. You can see in the swatches later I struggled a bit with application and I would much prefer the paddle brush, but I suddenly don't feel like tainting the original way it comes. I don't know, super weird. We'll see how I feel later on and maybe I will eventually end up swapping them out. But now let's get into the polishes. The first polish I got is Bare, a sandy beige curly with a delicate hollow sparkle from the Cabana collection. Bare has been a polish I've been wanting for so long. Anytime I wanted a natural, neutral shade for when I need an elegant or professional look, or just wanting a nice, refreshing palette cleanser, I always wished I had Bare. And I'm super happy with this polish. It lived up to all my clean girl expectations. The formula is really great and even on all coats. I showed this in 3 coats, but it's super self-leveling and wearable on all coats. This shade is also really close to my skin tone and flattering on me, I would say. So I'm just so happy with it. I was debating between Bare and Birthday Suit, and I think I made the right choice. The next polish I got is Sweet Pea, a sheer seashell pink jelly with scattered holographic microflakes from the Spring Jellies 2016 collection, so it's been around for nearly a whole decade now. This is another polish I've been wanting for a long time because I've heard so much about it. It starts off very sheer, but it can be built up. I really like the effect of these holographic microflakes. It allows the polish to be super sparkly and hollow, but since the base color is so subtle, it's still very office appropriate. I don't work in an office, but that's the term I hear people use all the time. The only thing is this polish is very muted and dusty compared to my expectations from the swatch photos on the website. Maybe that's just how it pulls on my skin tone, but it's nowhere near as pink as the swatch photos made it seem, so I was a little disappointed by that. I know for sure if I didn't get this one, it would be living in my head rent-free. It's been on my wish list for so long, so it's one of those ones I needed to get and experience the slight disappointment myself, but I will still be finding uses for and wearing it. The next polish I got is Dear Diary, a soft sherbet pink curly with holographic sparkles from the Rewind collection. The Rewind collection is a set of 6 muted pastel curlies and is one of my favorite collections. I loved all the shades and I got all of them, as you'll see, except for Clear. I was debating really hard between Sweet Pea, Dear Diary, and Clear because they all looked so different to me as a pink lover, but I didn't want to add 3 pinks to my collection at once, even though now I know Sweet Pea really isn't that pink. Ultimately, I eliminated Clear. ILNP has a useful compare feature on their website and Clear looks a bit cooler, and Dear Diary looks a bit warmer, so I preferred the warmer. And it's a 6-piece collection, so if I want to wear these all as a skittle, I only have 5 fingers and knew one of the pinks had to go. The next polish I got is Lunchbox, a pastel yellow crelly with a holographic sparkle from the Rewind collection. Yellows are so cute for the spring, and this one is so pretty. Yellows also notoriously have a harder formula, but this one was great along with all the polishes from this collection. Not the most even on the first coat, but builds up beautifully. I don't have a lot of yellows in my collection. I mean, a lot of brands don't release yellows because they tend to be less popular, so I'm very glad to have this one. It fills a little gap in my collection even though most of the yellows I own are pastels. I suppose the bigger gap would be bright primary and neon yellows. The next polish I got is Low Rise, a soft denim blue crelly with a holographic sparkle, again from the Rewind collection. I don't know what more to say, these are all from the same collection so they all have the same great formula. It's just a crelly with a subtle hollow sparkle, so it's nothing super crazy, but I just really like it. I love the subtle sparkles, and these pastels are muted but not too muted. They have a really great balance. I show all of these in 3 coats, but if you have shorter nails, I think you would get full coverage in 2. The next polish I got is Dollhouse, again from the Rewind collection, so it's a crelly with a holographic sparkle, but this one is described as a vintage mint green shade. I wouldn't have described this as a mint myself, I would have said it's more of a sage green, but I guess it is like if a pastel mint green had some mute added to it. Pastel greens like this are just perfect for spring, and on another note, I also love all the shade names in this collection. I think that adds to my love for these polishes. I'm not even the biggest green lover, but this one is super cute and wearable for me. The next polish I got is the last of the Rewind shades. It is ILNP Scrunchie, a dusty lavender crelly with a holographic sparkle. Again, love this shade and love this formula. The color reminds me of a rainy spring day because of the mutedness, especially in low light. The dustiness really comes through. And same with Low Rise from earlier. I'm really looking forward to wearing these alone as full manis, or pairing a few together, or wearing them as a full skittle. And they are seasonally very spring, but I'm going to be wearing these all year round. The next polish I got is Honeymoon, a luscious deep berry jelly with scattered holographic flakes from the Vineyard collection. I was debating between Honeymoon and Merlot, which is the red from the same collection. I went with Honeymoon because a more berry tone color was more unique to my collection, while I do own several reds, although not in this formula. I am pleased with my decision. I think this shade is really flattering on me, and I think this will be so gorgeous in the fall and winter. I didn't get the most even application, but I think that's on me and the brush. I feel like if this had the paddle brush, a more even application could have been achieved. This was also the first polish I swatched. I swatched these in backwards order from what you're seeing. No idea why I decided to do that, but I wasn't used to the skinny brush yet. I think I got a little better as time went on. The last two polishes I got are Eclipse, a black to red multichrome, and Flower Child, a pink jelly with blue shimmer and holographic flakes. I won't be swatching these today because I'll be swatching them in a separate video where I try cult classic polishes from every brand. It'll be worth the wait. I do full hand swatches for those videos rather than the one finger swatches I do in hauls. And the final thing I bought from ILNP is the 30-pound horseshoe magnet in pink. A lot of brands and non-nail brands sell these, but this one is so pretty. I'm kind of scared to use it because it's so strong. It was really difficult to slide off this magnet piece, and I almost broke a nail when getting it back on. But yeah, you just put your finger in the middle when using magnetic polishes to get the velvet style effect. I'm a little scared to use it, so I might continue to use my normal non-30-pound U-shaped magnet. I just wanted to have one of these, but we'll see what I end up doing. The only thing is, the ILNP horseshoe magnet doesn't have a hole at the top, which is needed for those contraptions that spin it for the glass bead effect, but I personally don't think I'll be doing that ever, or anytime soon at least. Magnetic polishes are already so time-consuming as it is, so I just can't be bothered. But that is all for my ILNP Black Friday haul. I'm overall very happy with my experience and everything I got. And again, their catalog is huge, so there's still some polishes on my wish list, but I'm gonna be patient and wait until next Black Friday. But even with their recent price increase, ILNP is still very affordable compared to a lot of other brands. I really wish I had gotten Sweet Tooth, but I didn't want to go over 10 polishes because even 10 is a lot to add to your collection at once. But I'm for sure getting Sweet Tooth next time. Let me know what your favorite ILNP polishes are, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. You don't want to miss my next video where I'll be trying out the ILNP Cult Classics Eclipse and Flower Child and seeing if they're worth all the hype and praise. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.